9 months since the deadly terror attack where 148 people, mostly students, were killed at the Garissa University College, the institution has reopened its doors to students. 150 regular students were not transferred from the institution after the attack, or the first to be registered. But as KTN's Moremi Mwangi now tells us, some of the institution's members of staff, including the Dean of Students, have resigned, citing security concerns, which they say have not been addressed despite the construction of a police post inside the institution.
That the pen is mightier than the sword, and that love is a conqueror of all evil, could not have been demonstrated any better. Garissa University College, ground zero of what is still the country's most devastating terror attack, finally opened its doors to the students once more.
The students are safe. And we have done all that we could. We put in a police station, and we're hoping that will be more than enough for Garissa to be safe.
On cue to mark this historic occasion were 150 regular students who declined to transfer from the institution after the attack, and members of staff who heeded the memo that directed them to report back here.
If we give up and we don't bring the teachers, we don't reopen the other institutions that were closed, it means we're giving up to the terrorists.
We worked hard for it to be here. It not just come like that. It don't come on a silver plate. People have worked day and night to make sure we get a university. And we don't take away that university, then we're not ready to do that.
But as the institution reopened, one man who had traveled all the way from Saudi Arabia, where he works as a lecturer, was one with a heavy heart. Mr. Al-Bash was a teacher of one of the terrorists involved in the attack, Abdirahim Abdullahi, a grade A University of Nairobi law student whose hand in the attack shocked the nation. And on this day, Mr. Bash had a special message to the country's young people.
I was his high school English teacher, and when I heard the news, it really broke my heart. And I had to seek some counseling because I was traumatized. I couldn't sleep. And I made an effort to come down all the way. We came here to Garissa University in July, and we spent 5 nights on the same beds where the students were killed as a defiance to the terrorists.
And although the government has constructed a police post inside the institution and placed 15 administration police officers here, a section of the university staff have vowed not to return here. The institution's former Dean of Students, Jackton Kwea Opande, has resigned, citing security concerns, while the Secretary of the University Academic Staff Union, Garissa Chapter, Walter Kodipo, told KTN News that security concerns raised by the university staff in a letter dated July 25th had not yet been addressed, and that members of the union are still at liberty not to report back at the institution.
We will make sure that there is adequate personnel to man and to guarantee the security of students, the community, the teaching staff, and this town and county.
The return to Garissa remains optional for students who had already transferred to Moi University main campus, though most of them that KTN News spoke to said they were unwilling to return to Garissa, as others lamented that they have not yet received adequate counseling since the horrific attack.
Not willing, we are not prepared to cede an inch of Kenya to criminals or terrorists. We will defend every inch of Kenyan soil.
Should the government live up to its promise of boosting security around the institution, then the resumption of normal operations here may just be the greatest stride in the country's fight against terror. Moremi Mwangi, KTN News, Nairobi.